Burnham's back. The mayor of Greater Manchester throws his hat in the ring. Andy Burnham wants to stand in the by-election that could make him an MP and open up a challenge to Starmer's leadership.
It probably will create division,
and he can be ambitious. I mean, he obviously wants to be Prime Minister.
Also tonight, another Minneapolis shooting, another death at the hands of federal agents in another immigration raid. After causing outrage for saying British troops in Afghanistan were not on the front line, Trump rose back.
This is ITV News with Lucy Watson.
Good evening. Andy Burnham has opened the door for a possible return to Westminster and a potential leadership challenge to the Prime Minister. The Greater Manchester Mayor has decided to stand in the Gorton and Denton by-election, a move that could see him returning to the House of Commons after nearly 10 years away. He's often been seen as a natural successor or possibly a political rival to Sir Keir Starmer. But announcing his plans on social media, he said he means to support the government, not undermine it. Fred Dimbleby has the details.
Andy Burnham has long been known as the King of the North, but will he soon be spending a lot more time down south? After years of speculation about his leadership ambitions, tonight he says he will try to return to Westminster. The Greater Manchester Mayor announcing he wants to run in the Gorton and Denton by-election, saying, "I have come to the conclusion that this is the moment to mount the strongest possible defence of what we stand for. I feel I owe it to a city which has given me so much to lead it from the front, despite the risks involved." That news welcomed by the Labour faithful at a conference today in London.
He's a strong politician, he's a strong candidate.
I think it's inevitable that it probably will create division,
And he can be ambitious. I mean, he obviously wants to be Prime Minister, and there's no harm in that. I think that's sort of known.
I was a bit shocked at first, but in a way, I think it's really important that all of us together gets behind, whoever's the leader.
He is seen as a natural rival to Keir Starmer, and if he wins as an MP, could launch a leadership challenge against the Prime Minister. But that is a long way down the tracks. First, Labour's governing body, the NEC, need to give him the go-ahead. And there are suggestions tonight that Starmer loyalists may try to block him, something senior figures have warned against.
I think Andy has done an outstanding job in Greater Manchester. I think he'll be a massive asset in Parliament. I very much hope that the local party will have the option of picking Andy as a candidate.
Andy Burnham has begun his return to Westminster, a journey not without its risks. Until now, he's been a distant but constant threat to the Prime Minister, but if he clears the many hurdles ahead, he could become the greatest danger to Starmer's leadership.
And Fred is with me now. Now, you mentioned the word risk in that report. Who's taking the bigger one, Fred?
Well, I think Andy Burnham is taking a risk here. If he's allowed to run in that race and he loses, remember Reform and Green will be targeting that seat heavily, well then his political career, at least temporarily, is on the rocks. But I think the danger is so much greater for Keir Starmer tonight. Firstly, if the NEC, the Labour Party's ruling committee, decide to block Andy Burnham, well then I'm told there will be a huge backlash among Labour MPs. If they do allow him to run, he stands and he wins, then he becomes a viable alternative to Sir Keir Starmer in Parliament. Andy Burnham says he doesn't want to undermine the government, but if Labour MPs start to become unhappy, they may start to gather around him.
Thank you very much indeed, Fred. There's growing anger in America tonight after federal agents shot a man dead during an immigration raid, the second such killing in 3 weeks. The first one provoked mass protests this evening. Government officials say the latest victim was carrying a firearm, but the state governor says video of today's shooting is as damning as the first. A warning, there are distressing pictures and gunfire in this report. From our US correspondent, Dan Rivers.
As protesters and immigration enforcement officers clashed on the frozen streets of Minneapolis, This was the moment a man filming with his phone approached a woman being detained. Officers suddenly tackled him, repeatedly hitting his head. And then this. Multiple shots fired, killing the man instantly. From another angle, the same incident. Amid the chaos, you can see the officer firing at the man, who is pinned to the ground. The man did have a pistol, but was licensed to carry a firearm. There are reports the weapon was taken from him before the shooting started. President Trump wasted no time in commenting on the incident, posting a photo of the weapon saying, "This is the gunman's gun, loaded with 2 additional magazines and ready to go. What is that all about? Where are the local police? Why weren't they allowed to protect ICE officers? The mayor and governor called them off." Today, the governor, Tim Walz, responded with barely concealed anger.
This federal occupation of Minnesota long ago stopped being a matter of immigration enforcement. It's a campaign of organized brutality against the people of our state. And today that campaign claimed another life. I've seen the videos from several angles, and it's sickening.
Tonight there were clashes on the streets of Minneapolis, a city already a powder keg of anger after the killing of Renee Good earlier this month, now bracing for further violence. Dan Rivers, ITV News in the United States.
President Trump provoked outrage by saying British and NATO troops stayed away from the front line in Afghanistan. But today, he appeared to row back on those comments, calling them the great and the brave, adding they were among the greatest of all warriors. But he didn't actually say sorry, as Neil Connery now reports.
After widespread condemnation over his comments about NATO troops in Afghanistan, President Trump has sought to repair the damage. In a post, he wrote, "The great and very brave soldiers of the United Kingdom will always be with the United States of America. In Afghanistan, 457 died, many were badly injured, and they were among the greatest of all warriors. It's a bond too strong to ever be broken. The UK military, with tremendous heart and soul, is second to none, except for the USA. We love you all, and always will." It's a marked contrast from 48 hours ago.
You know, they'll say they sent some troops to Afghanistan or this or that, and they did. They stayed a little back, a little off the front lines.
Downing Street says the Prime Minister raised those comments with him directly in a conversation today. This is what Sir Keir Starmer called them yesterday.
Insulting and frankly appalling. And I'm not surprised they've caused such hurt.
The Duke of Sussex, who served 2 tours in Afghanistan, said the sacrifice of British soldiers deserved to be spoken about truthfully and with respect. The pain caused by Trump's comments won't be assuaged by one post, even if there is a recognition of the sacrifice and service given by so many. Neil Connery, ITV News.
On to some sport now, and Liverpool's title defence took another turn for the worse tonight. They suffered a late out of the top 4 Champions League places. And that's it tonight. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.